Good morning, Hive fans. Welcome to another live stream of the 2022 Hive Online World Championship. This is a quarterfinal match between HappyKiwi and Stepanzo, Game 4. It's been adjourned, and so we'll be joining this one in progress, 114 moves in. But before we get into the game, let's make a mention of the Hive Live event, which is coming up next weekend in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 2 full days of Hive, Saturday the 24th and Sunday the 25th. I will be live streaming during that event all day, both days. So hopefully you'll be able to join in part of the time there. So here's the position after 114 moves in Game 4. And they have started. So let's see if I can get caught up here. White Beetle has ended up over there. Let's see if we can get this room up and running. Okay, I'm having my typical technical difficulties trying to get OBS Studio to match up with the game windows. So it looks like the two players have decided that they're going to call this one a draw. HappyKiwi says, I had quite a long think on the position yesterday and concluded. So they ended that one very quickly and it ended up a draw. Okay, so here we go. Okay. They ended up calling game 4 a draw. So we're into game 5. And I think I have everything set up here, hopefully. Looks like it. So let's see if I can get caught up here. Welcome, Eric, and welcome, Jonathan. We've got HappyKiwi playing white in this game. After 4 games, stepanzo leads 3 games to 1. I'm sorry, 2.5 to 1.5. That last one was a draw. Okay, there we go. Okay. Things are underway. Thanks for joining me this evening, or whatever time it is for you guys. It's last night for Stepanzo, tomorrow morning for HappyKiwi, and it's middle of the night for me. It is 1 o'clock in the morning for me. So we have scattered all across time zones from one end to the other. Okay, so we've got HappyKiwi opened with a grasshopper with and Stepanzo followed with a ladybug. We've got a Z queen opening. Both players got their pill bugs in early. And the first white ant pinned the first black ant, taking away this as a spawn point as well. Neither mosquito has come in yet. Usually we see the mosquitoes come in quite early. Bear with me 1 second while I log into my YouTube channel on my iPad to make sure my screen is coming out okay. And if history shows us anything at all, this is going to be a long game. First 4 games, game 1 was 164 moves, an hour and 56 minutes. Game 2 was adjourned halfway through, ended up being 400, and that first game was won by HappyKiwi. Game 2 was won by Stepanzo in 417 moves in 4 hours and 23 minutes. And it didn't take long for White Ant 2 to come in and then Black Ant 2 to pin it. Game 3 was 81 moves only, an hour and 19 minutes, won by Stepanzo. So these two players are very evenly matched, and the games have a tendency to go very long. Okay, good. It looks good. Jonathan, welcome. Hope that you can learn from the Masters. These are two really, really excellent players. Of course, when we get down to the final 8 in the Hive World Championship, they're all going to be top-of-the-line players. Interesting, Eric. Your comment was deleted by the Google moderator team. I wonder what they didn't like. I don't recall what you said that might have irritated them. Of course, the timing in this game is 30 minutes plus 30 seconds. So we won't have an issue with timing for a bit. Stepanzo actually has more than 30 minutes after the first opening moves. Okay, as usually happens, ants come out early. So when black ant 2 pinned white ant 2, HappyKiwi took the advantage of that to bring in white ant 3. And also set up a potential beetle factory right there. And Stepanzo replies with, looks like black mosquito. Oh, nope, changed it back to the ant. So he's examining that spot before hitting done and decided maybe that he's not going to place the ant. There has been some discussion over at Discord. There is an option now where you can do an automatic done, which does not allow you to place bugs and then look at the situation before you click the done button. There's been some discussion about whether the automatic done feature should be used in tournaments or not. And the general consensus is no right at the moment, but we'll see what happens in the future. So instead of bringing in a third ant or the mosquito, Stepanzo decides to play an ambiguous spider. The black spider can perform the pin replacement or move over to here and attack the queen. White grasshopper comes in. Okay. Okay, since we've got a brand new player in the house tonight, and Jonathan Baker, welcome Jonathan. What I'm going to do is I'll do some things that I wouldn't normally do to help him along. So this black spider is what Joe Schultz calls an ambiguous spider. It could do a pin replacement here, or as he actually did, attack the queen here. Now the white grasshopper's in position to pin this black ant. Yes. And rather than jumping out with the mosquito, with the grasshopper, HappyKiwi ends up placing a mosquito in that spot. So is task codes you, Eric? Just make sure I know that. And yes, over the last amount of time, the quality of play has increased drastically as players have gotten much better. They're playing fairly quickly here. The grasshopper did end up going out and pinning the black ant. And then Stepanzo brought in the mosquito and a pin-proof spawn point here. It's an instant double ant because that mosquito now has ant power as well as pillbug power. And in his book, The Canon of Hive Groundwork, Joe Schultz coined some very interesting terms, which of course I have since put into a Hive lexicon, which is also available. Both of them are available in links down below. One of the terms that is very descriptive that Joe Schultz coined is qualification for the win. With the pill bug in play, if you ignore the pill bug and attack the opposing queen, and the opposing pill bug is in a good position, it just warps the queen away when you get 5 kill spots filled. So Joe coined the term qualification for the win, which means that you have negated and nullified the power of the pill bug. And so in these early parts of these games, both players are looking to play for some sort of control where they can end up mounting some sort of an attack where they can qualify for the win. And the two most common ways to qualify for the win are covering the pill bug or covering the queen with a beetle. So that becomes a goal early in the game, is getting a beetle up or getting a mosquito up so that you can use that bug to qualify for the win. And so you will So Jonathan, no, you're not being distracted, not being distracting. Eric is a regular. I'm sure he won't mind comments regarding some of the more elementary things for Jonathan's benefit. So timing is still, Stepanzo's still at plus time. He's at 31.5 minutes. Welcome, Bruno. And Stepanzo's at 22 minutes, approaching 22-minute mark. So this spot here where this mosquito is could possibly be a beetle factory. That's another term coined by Joe. It's also mentioned in the Hive lexicon, meaning a spot where you can bring in a beetle where it can't be pinned. However, if the mosquito moves away and then black comes in and pins this ant in this spot here, that's no longer a beetle factory. So white may end up placing and spawning a new bug in this spot before the mosquito jumps out, leaving this as a beetle factory. And it's still not 100% certain that it can remain as a beetle factory, because in theory, black could come over and form the ring, but white would then be able to just warp that bug away at some point in the future. The other thing that top players quite regularly do is they keep their mosquito adjacent to an ant, so the mosquito has ant power, so that if the opponent brings in a beetle, the mosquito can swoop in and pin it right away. And of course, up there in the corner, you'll see the announcement for the Hive Live event next week. Don't forget about that. If you're within driving distance of the Twin Cities area, the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, we will be having Hive events all day Saturday starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, all day Sunday starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be at Dreamers Game Vault, 3015. Well, there's the addresses up there. 3015 Utah Avenue South. So Jonathan says he knows Bruno. Hi, Bruno. Let me know where you guys are. What time of the day or night is it for you? Okay, interesting. He brings in a beetle here, which instantly gives, well, that's what Joe coined the term, instant double beetle, because you've got a beetle coming in and now the mosquito has beetle power. And this is an interesting move because if the mosquito pins the beetle, then the white mosquito can climb up and the black mosquito wouldn't have beetle power. Or, of course, if what can happen is if the black mosquito pins the white beetle, then the white ant can swing over as well. So it doesn't look like he's going to well, I looked at that for a minute and then looked at something else. Now he's back looking at it. So what can happen here is if the black mosquito does go ahead and pin the beetle, the white ant can go ahead and pin the black mosquito. The other thing that he can do is if the white mosquito climbs up and covers the white beetle, the black mosquito no longer has beetle power. In fact, the black mosquito would be immobile at that point. Okay, Jonathan says it's 1 o'clock there, so he's in the same time zone as I am. I went to bed early this evening. Eric's in Texas, so he's just an hour different. Went to bed early this evening so I could get up. Didn't sleep very well. I got about 4 hours of fitful sleep. Didn't know whether I'd be up for a live stream, but once I got up and going, I decided to go ahead and do it. And I think I changed the title because we're into game 5. And so that's one of the two things that I thought that HappyKiwi would most likely do. He did. He ended up climbing up with the mosquito, which gets the mosquito atop the hive, but also removes any kind of movement ability from the black mosquito. Now, until HappyKiwi can anchor down and pin down the black mosquito, the white mosquito is trapped there. We're up to 5 concurrent viewers. That's very good for this time of day / night. So Stepanzo pins the third ant. The ant game is currently tied. Both players have one free ant, and that free ant is pinning another ant. So if the ant one of the ant moves away, the opposing player would have an ant as well. That also means it's very difficult to get a bug to pin this black mosquito, but if the white ladybug is spawned there, it could jump out and pin the mosquito. Since there's no current threat, white may have that time to do it. Although with 2 beetles in reserve, black could begin a 2 beetle attack, and white only has 1 ant to defend with. And when that ant moves, that would leave the black ant free. So Stepanzo has done a very good job of controlling the space around the white queen. Even though the beetle factory has formed, there aren't very many spawn points for HappyKiwi. If he spawns something on the white ant, then Stepanzo could very easily begin the beetle assault. Okay. HappyKiwi elected to do it that way. Moving out to cover the black mosquito now gives white a lot more spawn points. Okay, Chris, are you going to be there? And sure enough, Stepanzo has begun the beetle assault. So the Hive Live event next weekend should be very interesting. Thanks to John Sandel and Brian, I can't remember what Brian's last name is. That's Apollo Q and Irel Duke for hosting this event in the Twin Cities area. We had this event just before the pandemic hit, and Joe Schultz and I were both there in person. And this year again, Joe and I are both going to be there. If you're in the Discord server, you can check the Discord server. It'll tell you what hotel I'm staying in. Joe and I are staying in the same hotel. So if you're coming to the Twin Cities area and want to stay with us, that's where we'll be. There's a note over in the Discord server. So of course, the only way that HappyKiwi can pin this black beetle is to release the black ant. So if the white ant pins the black beetle, then no doubt the black ant would then pin the white ant, and then the second black beetle could come in. This is not a must-win situation for HappyKiwi, but it's a must-not-lose situation. With the match standing at 2.5 to 1.5, if Stepanzo wins this, he'll be moving on to the semifinals. Okay. HappyKiwi anchored down the black mosquito. Oh, nice. Chris Nelson's going to be there. Good morning, Lone Badger. Now, what's interesting is one of the ways that you can remove these spots, a spot like this as a spawn point, is if for example, if this beetle moved in attack to there, if black had an angle of attack to this spot, then if a white bug spawns here, that would be a setup shot, a self setup shot, and then black could take the kill shot to there. But more than likely, Stepanzo is going to go ahead and climb up with the beetle. So the white spider anchored down the black mosquito, so now the white mosquito can begin its march forward. And interestingly, in my book, Play Hive Like a Champion, I made the observation that rings are bad. But what we're learning is, in fact, comment was made earlier about how people have done a lot of study in the game of Hive, and things have changed a bit. What I've learned is the top players quite regularly make rings, beneficial rings. And so I've been documenting all the rings. I've been going through all the games played in the tournament and documenting how many rings have been made. It's very interesting. So once I have that information complete, I'll start publishing some of it. And just as a note as to how the rest of the quarterfinals are going, Chigi and Frasco. Frasco has a 2.5 to half point lead. Game 4 has not yet been scheduled. Judoka already won his match against Raid, 3.5 to a half. So Judoka is moving on to the semifinals. And then Quadlabet versus Gandak. Quadlabet, current world champion, 4-time world champion, leads that match 2-1, with the next game 4 scheduled for the 19th. That's Monday at 11:30 GMT. So the black beetle climbs up. So Stepanzo is on the verge of qualifying for the win. Now, if he could get a grasshopper, if he could spawn a grasshopper off the pill bug with an angle of attack to there, then he could stop that from happening. But HappyKiwi went ahead and his last opportunity to use that beetle factory. So the Lone Badger says, how about white spawning a grasshopper left of the mosquito and then jumping over, forming an only white ring? And that's one of the key things about a ring. If you can form a ring that is only made up of your bugs, then your opponent can't break it. So yes, that is a very good possibility. And I'm looking for ways to categorize different rings as attacking rings, defending rings, complication rings, irrelevant rings, because sometimes a ring is formed and it doesn't have any benefit one way or the other. So if you have any ideas about that, drop me a note as well. Well, Eric makes the comment, gotta wonder if this is the year that Quadlibet gets dethroned. Well, it's been a long time since we've had a finals that didn't include either Quadlibet or Judoka. And of course, if Quadlibet wins his match against Gandak, then Quadlibet and Judoka will meet in the semis, with one of them going on to the finals. Quadlibet had his hands full in the round of 16 against Jib. That's Jean-Baptiste Chaubet, who I'd like to thank as one of the contributors to my channel. But he ended up winning that one. And it's interesting, if you're on the Discord server, of which there is a link down below, if you're in the Discord server, you'll see that stepanzo, and we've got the second black beetle has entered. So stepanzo did a survey to see who people thought were going to win the matches. And of course, Judoka, 17 people participated. Judoka was chosen to win his match out by 16 of them, which he did. stepanzo was chosen out by 11, Frasco by 10, and interestingly, out of the 17, 9 chose Quadlibet, 8 chose Gandak to upset him. Of course, Gandak has been right on the verge for quite a few years now, so maybe this is his year if he can get by the world champion Quadlibet. So what's interesting here is stepanzo has a very good attack going. Will HappyKiwi be able to defend? If stepanzo attacks with the beetle, then HappyKiwi's only options would be to warp the queen away which would then leave both white beetles pinned, but would allow the black beetle to begin, but the white queen could continue its escape route. Or move the white beetle, which would then allow black to qualify for the win by covering the pill bug. But I am guessing that Stepanzo is playing a bit of a long game here and is just going to climb up with the second beetle. And it's interesting how often black ends up the first aggressor in a game like this. So black is in attack mode, white is defending. Okay. White grasshopper comes in. The lone badger commented about the grasshopper coming in and making the ring, but this is another way that now both white beetles are free. So we looked at that beetle advancement earlier. I don't think that's a smart one. Oh, but he did. So let's see if he proves me wrong or not. If the white queen gets warped out to here, nope, he decided not to do it. The white queen gets warped out to there, the white queen just runs away. And yes, that would mean that black has qualified for the win by separating the white queen from the pill bug, but black may not have enough bugs to win. And I've made this comment before, it's very interesting. Obviously, when you don't play with the automatic done, you can do what Stepanzo's doing here. He places the beetle but doesn't click done, and then he can examine the situation, not having to do it all in your head like you would have to in chess, where the you touch it, you move it rule comes into play. But what it also does is you can feint a move like this while you're actually considering something else. And if your opponent spends time. So yes, Eric makes the comment, black seems like it has to flip momentum early or else it's on the back foot for way too long in development. So yes, there's a lot of truth to that. And that's one of the things that white can do is white obviously, and without the pill bug, white usually is the aggressor early on. And so what can happen is white can use that extra tempo to bring in another defending bug. So with those two white beetles there, white has the ability, if HappyKiwi can cover both of those black beetles as they approach, then you'll end up with this cavern behind the white queen that could be very difficult to get into. Oops. Lone Badger says rings can also be a key factor in controlling the inner hive. The difference of the small ring around one single spot or bigger rings surrounding multiple spots are also interesting. That is very true. Of course, Stepanzo has plenty of time here. He's at 22.5 minutes. So Eric says, is covering the queen not the play here? The answer is possibly. It may not be the best play. It may be best to I don't think the move that Stepanzo is looking at is the best move, but it could very well be that getting the second beetle up is a better move. And then after getting the second beetle up, then moving forward to cover the queen. But he did. He went ahead and attacked with the beetle. Now, that's a setup shot, which, I hate doing that. That's a setup shot, which is black is threatening to win. So white has two options, can move the white beetle or warp the queen away. Stepanzo is okay. So if the queen gets warped away, it could very well be that then Stepanzo would attack with the ant, blocking the queen in place. Yes, that's the move that I probably overlooked. Now if the white beetle moves up, the black beetle can move forward. Because those are the only two moves, is moving the beetle or warping the queen. Of course, the worst move would be covering your own queen, because then you get immediately covered. So I would think that the beetle would probably go that way. And then to make sure that the black beetle doesn't get warped away, the black beetle would probably qualify for the win by covering the pill bug, then the white beetle would cover, then the black beetle would cover. Let's put everything back the way it was. Okay, let's look at what I was looking at is the white queen getting warped away. The black queen would pin the white queen in play. The white ladybug could cover the black ant or pin the black ant. Then when the beetle moved forward, the white ant would be free to move out. And then black may have trouble getting into that, would have the beetle in play, but might have trouble getting into that spot. So warping the queen away may be the best defense here. Because if HappyKiwi warps the queen away and black does something other than pin it in place with the ant, then the white queen just begins an escape march. So we're up to 6 concurrent viewers. I appreciate everybody joining us at this time of day or night or morning. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, it's last night for Stepanzo. He's on the west coast of the U.S., and it's tomorrow morning for HappyKiwi from Sweden. Okay, the white beetle moves up. Okay, rather than move forward with the beetle, Stepanzo elects instead, or looked at instead, anchoring the beetle down, but nope, he goes ahead and moves up with the beetle. And Stepanzo has qualified for the win. Now that's the natural move, is to go ahead and cover the beetle. That does a couple different things. Is not only does it negate the beetle, but it also means that when this beetle moves forward, this is not a direct drop spot. So here Stepanzo forms the ring, but this is not really a ring that's provided for any benefit of a ring. It's provided to give the grasshopper an angle of attack to that spot. So the Lone Badger says at the moment white has 3 movable beetles. I wouldn't warp the queen. And so yes. If HappyKiwi can withstand this attack, he's got very good winning chances because he's got the beetle and the mosquito up. The white beetle doesn't really count because as soon as it moves, it'll get recovered by the black beetle that it's covering. It's an interesting situation here. We've got the white queen surrounded by 3 beetle gates. HappyKiwi is starting to run down on time. He's at 3.5 minutes and counting. Does HappyKiwi have a defense here? This spot back here is going to be the key to HappyKiwi's defense. Rather than useless ring technique, I call it the irrelevant ring technique because this grasshopper did form a ring, but the fact that it is a ring is irrelevant. It was formed there, it spawned there to get an angle of attack to that spot. HappyKiwi's down to 2.5 minutes and counting. Yes, rings are bad unless they're good. I still stand by my original comment. For beginners, rings are usually bad. So let's look at stepanzo's attacking chances and then see what HappyKiwi can do to defend. So the grasshopper, of course, has an angle of attack to this kill spot. Another grasshopper could come in here with an angle of attack to that kill spot, and then the black beetle has an angle of attack to take the kill shot. Yes, I've looked at that as well. The lone badger says the white mosquito could drop down, forming the ring, which would free this white ant, but would also, okay. So HappyKiwi pins the black ant. With 34 seconds to play. I think stepanzo goes ahead and attacks with the grasshopper because attacking with the grasshopper means that this spot is no longer available as a spawn point. So the big question is, interesting, the black grasshopper jumps that way and now has an angle of attack this way, forcing the white ant, and then black begins a grasshopper crossfire. So stepanzo has his plan, and he's keeping HappyKiwi under time pressure. That's interesting. Yes, because doing that, if he attacked with a grasshopper, the white grasshopper is then free to move. So the black beetle takes the setup shot, forcing, although it doesn't do any good because now the black pillbug forms a fill, freeing the black grasshopper, and if the white beetle covers it, the ladybug wins. So congratulations to Stepanzo. It happened very quickly. So game 5 goes to Stepanzo, who now leads 3. Oh. So Stepanzo wins the match. 3.5 to 1.5. So HappyKiwi says, well-deserved one match. Thank you. Those were great games, says Stepanzo in the lobby. And HappyKiwi says, has been very interesting playing you since USI also tend to go to end games more. And so, yes, they did have some long end games. Stepan says, I guess I just adapt. So congratulations to Stepan Opalev. He's the second player to qualify for the semifinals. And congratulations to HappyKiwi for making it to the quarterfinals. It was an excellent match, one of the best. So Stepanzo moves on. He'll be playing the winner of the Chigi Frasco match. And Judoka has already moved on. He'll be playing the winner of the Gandak Quadlibet. Yes, he is. So congratulations to Stepanzo for moving on to the semifinals. So let's go ahead and we will get the lobby back open. And of course, don't forget the Hive Live event next weekend. I'll be first trip for me for 2.5 years since the pandemic started. I'll be flying up to Minneapolis next Friday for the event all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We will be live streaming starting at 10 o'clock each morning. We're still finalizing the exact schedule, but we're looking forward to seeing you there. Chris Nelson says he's going to be there. And of course, Judoka, that's Joe Schultz, and I will both be there in person. So you can come and see 2 ex-world champions, authors of multiple books. And of course, don't forget, the Hive Lexicon is now available on Amazon You can check your local Amazon store. Currently running a sale on it. It's $5.25 US, or whatever your equivalent is in your area of the world. And as always, if you'd like to help support the channel, there is a link to my Buy Me a Coffee site down below. So yes, this was an excellent game, wasn't it? Stepanzo's a well-deserved winner, moving on to the semifinals. And I think Stepanzo has been a finalist before. Let me just take a look at my Hive tournament history. Yes, 2014, Stepanzo was runner-up, lost to Eucalyptus in the finals. 2013, Stepanzo was third. So Stepan has been playing Hive for quite a while. So is this his year? We will know as he runs up against either Chigi or Frasco in the semifinals. So thanks a lot for joining in this evening. I know it's an obnoxious time of night for me. It's a little after 2 o'clock. I hope I can get to sleep after this, but I'll be able to sleep in tomorrow morning. My services at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses is not till 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so I get to sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So as always, I am here helping you play Hive like a champion. And a note to one of our new viewers this evening, Jonathan Baker. I hope that you were able to benefit from this live stream and from this excellent game played between two of the top players. So until next time, this is Randy Ingersoll signing off.